Hi everyone, my name is Kate and welcome to our channel, Music Production Nerds. This is our very first video, you may have noticed, but we have a lot of great stuff in store for you, so be sure to click that subscribe button and also click that notification bell so that you can be updated with all our new videos. If you find this video helpful, be sure to give it a like as well and check out all of the free resources available on our website. Today, I'm going to get into an Izotope Ozone 9 review covering all of the main features and uses of this great mastering plugin, as well as talk about some of the differences from Ozone 8 and demo a couple of those features in real time. Let's get started. Alright, so for starters, when you open up Ozone 9, it looks very similar to Ozone 8. They kept much of the same sleek user interface. And the default mode comes with an equalizer and a maximizer, although you can add up to 12 of these effects at one time to your master chain, which is a lot more than you'll typically need, but it's there if you need it. Upon opening the plugin, you can go with what you have default, or there's a number of presets which are great. One of my favorite things about Ozone 9 is they've added in a lot of vintage presets, and I like to make a lot of retro inspired music, but they have so many for you to plug and play. But you can also open up this Master Assistant menu, which will, the added vintage module, you'll see they've added a limiter, compression, equalizer, pretty much all of the standard mastering effects, but in a vintage, more analog style with this Ozone 9 update, so you can add a retro feel. But for demonstration purposes, I'll stick with modern. They've also added just a general loudness intensity that you can select for what you're going for in terms of output from this plugin, since it is for mastering. You can also import a reference track directly into the interface. I'm going to go ahead and load Forever by Claro, since I am working on mastering a indie pop retro inspired music, and then you go ahead and play the audio. I fast forward a little bit, but basically it listens to like 30 seconds or so of my track, and it's gonna give me some suggestions in the plugin based on my reference track of what I want my master to sound like. And usually the plugin, it's a little dramatic. You can see these peaks, and I'll adjust them right now just a little bit. Hey there, I want you mine. Hey there, I want you mine. Hey there, I want you. But as you can see, it's a bit dramatic, but in terms of output, based on the AI, it's definitely a good starting point, and that's something that I don't see in a lot of mastering plugins, so it's certainly noteworthy. Another helpful feature embedded in Ozone 9 that has a similar effect, there's the option to use a match EQ. Make sure you put it before your final maximizer. But you can load in a section of your reference track by toggling the reference button over here that's already preloaded. Select a section of the song and then go back to your match EQ and play the song and capture some of those frequencies, and then we're going to capture the frequencies of my original track, so I'll have a visual screenshot of each to use as a reference while mastering. Alright, and there you go, and you can see how the AI is working to do a pretty good job to match up my frequencies to my reference track, but I could probably use some work over here in the high end. Another great feature that comes with Ozone 9 is called Master Rebalance. Now, sometimes as an engineer, you'll find, like in this track, you'll only have a final mix and you won't have access to all the individual stems or instruments. Now what Master Rebalance does is it picks out a focus based on target frequencies, so vocal, bass, or drums, and you can make like small boosts that are actually pretty noticeable. And of course it's more preferable to do this in pre-production, or at least before you get to the point where you have a final mix. But you know, for what it's worth, I'll give you an example.
No, I just want your lips.
Bass.
Now my head is spinning, cause these feelings won't quit. You're the reason I can't fall asleep in the motives of my sin. Can't get out of my mind. Hormones on overdrive. If this is the incline.
So as you can see, it does a pretty good job. If you're also still having a hard time with boosting those low end frequencies, you can use this great feature called low end focus that comes new with Ozone 9. Essentially, you can use it to really boost those kicks with the punchy mode, and smooth mode would be more used on individual instruments. But for all purposes, I will show you punchy, and you can see how it really makes those kicks and lower sounding drum frequencies pop out in the mix. This will be a dramatization, although, but here we go.
Hey there, I want you mine. Hey there, I want you mine. Hey there, I want you.
So you can really hear the kick coming out. It almost just sounds like a really hard side chime. And I suspect that's definitely part of it, is just side chaining a lot. But, you know, and it definitely adds a level of boost, which is helpful. But yeah, in general, there's plenty of other plugins that can be used to master. If you're interested, check out the link in our description. We write a couple of free tools and guides on our favorite mastering plugins. Some of my favorites are in there, like the Fab Filter series, or Waves, of course, has a couple of great limiters and just different tools to help you step up your production. So that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching our very first video. Should you feel inclined, please subscribe, like, and share, and visit the website musicproductionnerds.com for more tips and tricks on how to mix and master and produce all things music.